Good afternoon, everybody. This is JPico Death checking in for another cooking video. Today we are going to be playing with one of my all-time favorite dishes. So it's something I think I cook fairly well and I enjoy it, and it's just kind of the way my family does it. And there are certainly multiple ways to prepare this dish, but this is going to be the one I'm going to show you today. And we're going to be making chicken fried steak. As I said, one of my absolute favorite dishes. You have to excuse probably some background noise. It's pretty hot out. We got some fans on, got the windows open, so I do apologize for any additional noise today. But what we have so far is I've just kind of prepared some things so you guys didn't have to deal with it. We have eye of round steak is what they're calling it. This is just something that was in my discount section. And so I just decided to take advantage of the situation, and I've got 4 pieces here altogether. They totaled at the from the butcher shop just under a pound of meat, like 0.91 or something like that. And I have flattened these things out, hit them with my meat tenderizer to help break up some of the sinew that's in it. I did trim most of the fats and the silver, what's it called, silver skin from the edges, so they're pretty clean. We have over here 2 eggs that are scrambled up and ready to go. I have a bag in it, a Ziploc bag, with some crushed Ritz crackers. This is what we're going to be using to bread and coat these. You know Ritz crackers. I've got 2 sleeves in there. Should have considered something besides this other bowl, but we'll make it work. The only seasonings we have involved so far is that in the egg, the 2 eggs that I've got over here, I did put in about a half a teaspoon of onion powder just to help give it just a teeny bit more flavor. Otherwise, I really like to let the meat kind of speak for itself on these ones. And so I'm just going to use a fork to dredge through my egg and then carry it over here to the crackers. I'm going to poke it down, push it down, and try to get this thing coated up. I really try to keep one hand wet and one hand dry, otherwise you'll end up with kind of a club hand that isn't very useful for much. So if you can keep one of your hands pretty dry when you're trying to do any kind of breading, that would be helpful. I'm just going to take and smash these crackers into here. I'm going to turn it over, I'm going to coat it, I'm going to make sure that this thing is well and truly stuck on here. I like to get all the edges. Yeah, I probably should have picked a plate or something for this instead. Thought they was a little bit smaller than this, but not. And when we're done, we're going to have a piece covered in crackers. It looks just like that. And we're going to do the other ones. So I'm going to coat these up. I won't make you guys wait for that, and I will see you in just a few minutes. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to move the camera over to the pan, and we'll go from there. See ya. Alright everybody, welcome over to the stove. We now have our 4 pieces of steak all covered up with crackers. And my oil here is getting to temperature, I think. I'll take an extra crumb over here and drop it on in and see if we get a sizzle. I think I'm going to like that. I think we're going to be good to go. So of course remember your food safety. When working with hot grease and oil, always lay things into a pan away from you. When working with raw meats, always try to clean yourself and your tools so you do not have cross-contamination of any kind of food. We're going to get these things started real quick, and while these things are going, I just want to take a moment to I guess just talk about this community-driven playlist that Bulk Girl and I have been working on, but that's not really fair to say because, my God, the community has really come through on this one. I want to say that we are over 90 videos now for this compilation. So, you know, everybody, well done. Very well done. I'm so glad that we got a great response out of this. And I hope that we can keep the videos coming, keep the ideas flowing, keep our bellies full, and just keep sharing and be in a community. And that's what this is all about. So thank you, everybody, for that. If you are new to the channel, of course, if you're not aware of this playlist, I will put it in the description down below. Yeah, just awesome. It's amazing. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. It's just great. Let's see. I'm going to check on this one right here. Crisping up, but not quite as golden as I would like it to be. Now, as soon as these come out, I'm going to be putting them into my oven on the lowest setting possible, just to keep them warm while we get the rest of this stuff put together. I'm not doing anything fancy for the vegetables. I think I'm probably just going to open up a can of, I don't know, probably green beans or something out of the cupboard. And I'm going to make up some mashed potatoes, and I'm going to show you guys how to make some cream gravy from scratch. So this would be one you could use both for chicken fried steak type recipes, anything you wanted to have, chicken fried chicken, chicken fried steak, whatever, as well as if you wanted to have more of a vegetarian biscuits and gravy or something like that. Ooh. Alright, sorry for the noise. There we go. They're looking golden and beautiful. And so far all we really have here is the meat. We dredged it in the egg with a little bit of garlic, and then crushed it into the crackers and here into the pan. When these come out and onto my my cooling plate, I've got just a plate with a couple of paper towels on it. It's oven safe, so it's going to go into the oven here, once again on that lowest setting, just to kind of help maintain them and keep them warm while we work with the rest of the things on the stove. And the paper towels are going to help drain off any excess oil. This is just vegetable oil I've got in here. If you want to cook with something else, feel free to do so. But this is how I do mine. Let's see how we're looking. Pretty good, pretty good. I find that the butter, the crackers make the final product pretty buttery. Gives a nice crisp coat. You know, I've tried before to dredge them in flour first and then coat them, and I just didn't like it as much. Then of course you can always just dredge them in flour and egg a couple of different times, and it makes a pretty good coating that way as well. But once again, I really enjoy the cracker myself. So we're going to pull that one on out. Awesome. And the next two are going to go down. I will see you guys in one little minute. We will finish these steaks up, and we will get set up on our other pan for the gravy. All right, folks. We are done preparing the beef, and we've got about 4 tablespoons, maybe 5 of butter in this 12-inch skillet here, or excuse me, it's an 8-inch skillet. And we're going to be making a very basic roux with it. So just some white all-purpose flour for me. I don't have a different kind in the house. And what this is going to do is we're going to put this together and cook it down. I mean, it's fairly traditional as far as roux are concerned. Get a little bit of that flour taste out of there, and this is going to give us a really good base for adding our milk to in a while. Some people are going to want to use cream. Admittedly, it's not an ingredient that's generally in my house, so I just use milk. But as I was saying before, this is a general statement, is going to be good for just a white pepper gravy that has no meat in it itself. So if you're going to use it for any other purpose, you certainly could. Like I said, I've prepared it many times for biscuits and gravy, where the we weren't concerned if we were having like instead of like a sausage gravy. It'd be a slightly different process for that, but that's a different video, I suppose. In this case, we're just going to be making this one for, once again, the chicken fried steaks. So there's really not a need for additional meat. I can't even imagine what putting a sausage gravy on top of chicken fried steak would be, but I don't know. It doesn't sound very appealing to me, I have to admit. I've got this on, actually I've got it on no heat now that I look at it. I forgot to turn it back on. But medium heat. I just pulled the oil off of this burner, so it's still pretty warm, and that's why I didn't give it much thought. There we go. Now we're cooking. So yeah, coming back around to the playlist, it's amazing. Thank you all for helping. I think it's probably more than Vault Griller I ever really hoped for. And I'm really kind of glad to see the community coming together on this one. We have recipes from literally around the globe at this point, covering all kinds of different cuisines. So that is, it's amazing. It really is. Thank you, everybody. Come on, cook. As this roux goes, it's going to start smelling just a little bit toward nutty. You don't want to let it go too far. You don't want it to brown. But, yeah, I think we're getting pretty close here. The milk we keep on hand is a 2% milk. Feel free to use whatever makes you happy. I have to admit, I have made this with goat's milk before. So realistically, sky's the limit about what you can do. I'm just going to add a little bit there, and we're going to get this roux integrated better. Although I'm suddenly having doubts. I think I might have hit that a little fast. Right now, the roux is not integrating very well. Of course, I've done this probably 50 times, and of course it's happening because it's on camera with you guys. But we're going to want to try to work these things down and break them up. If you have too much liquid and not enough roux, you're going to find that it kind of pockets up the flour. So we're just going to work this a little bit and keep moving them and breaking them, and we'll get it. I think Vault Grow was mentioning using a different kind of flour that made this process easier. I've never used that flour, but it sounds amazing if you're going to have less problems with your roux. There we go. It's already starting to thicken up, and I don't actually see a whole bunch of chunks left, so it's time to get more liquid in here. I build this a little bit at a time, just to make sure that everything is integrated well. Otherwise, once again, you can end up with pockets of things that are done and missing out on others. Come on, you come on together. About this time, I'm going to start adding my pepper. My pepper mill allows me to do several different grinds, several different coarsities. And I find that having 3 different grinds or 3 different size of grind gives you different pepper for different things. You get some bigger, chunkier pieces and some smaller stuff, and they kind of do different things in the sauce. But like I said, it is a pepper gravy, so as far as I'm concerned, have fun with it. Go hog wild. I don't know, regionally, do you guys call this pepper gravy? Do you call it country gravy? What do you guys call this? I mean, other than delicious. I'm going to go for delicious. Feel really good about this. So I'm going to just kind of hit it hard with some milk right now. All told, I don't know, we might have 2 cups in here. Maybe more? 3? I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I've got enough is what I've got. And if you have a good enough roux, then this is just going to come together here in the next little moment. Maybe I'll turn the heat up. Oh, shoot. Slinging gravy everywhere. Turn that up just a little bit. A little more pepper in here. There were some comments before about the last time that I used this this whisk, and I want to say that it's called something like a sauce whisk or a flat whisk, I think are the 2 names for it. I don't even know where I picked this thing up, but I've had it for a long time, ever since, I think it was ever since I started making homemade mac and cheese, because that's when I first started working with roux. So I just like to keep working all these edges and make sure that this all comes together, but with a little bit of heat this is going to come together quickly. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to do a little bit of a cut here to save you guys some trouble, and we'll come back in just one little minute when it is tightened up a little bit, and I'll show it to you. Alright, boys and girls, this gravy has been done reducing itself down. When you put it on the back of a spoon, nice and thick. So happy for me. The taste test, I think I'm going to put a little bit of salt into it. I've already added probably a half a teaspoon. I think I'm going to put a pinch more. There's plenty of pepper, but otherwise I think we're in business. So I'll see you guys in 1 minute for the plating. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. One of my favorite meals on the planet, chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes, and in this case canned green beans that have been shined up a little bit with garlic, onion, and salt and pepper, and nice cream gravy. And this thing is right up my alley, and I'm going to do my very level best not to eat all 4 of these steaks tonight. But I once again appreciate everybody who has already participated and is thinking about participating in our community-driven playlist. You guys are rock stars, and we couldn't do this without you. So keep cooking. You all take care out there, and we will see you in the next video.